Welcome to the podcast. This is all about identity. I first want to start off by identifying what identity means. According to Google, it says identity is a broad term that refers to the quality, characteristics, and beliefs that make a person or group unique. So, going to my first question, why do you think, when you think of your identity, what parts stand out?
I think taking a deep dive into my identity, there's a lot to unpack in that question, but I think the biggest parts are like strong ties with family, strong leadership, just thinking of all the things that really make me who I am, and like when people think about Jack, who is he? I think those are the things I want them to think about.
Okay, and how are those things stemmed? Like, where do they come from?
I think it comes from how I was raised and the activities I did. Being in football, being a part of different student organizations, I always, was looking for leadership roles, trying to help out the club, make it the way that I wanted it to make. And I think that also ties in with family, right? When you're playing football, playing lacrosse, it's like a brotherhood. It's like your family, your brothers. So I just think loyalty kind of goes with that as well. But loyalty, leadership, and family are all really, really important to me.
Okay, and you would say those are your main parts. Like, have those been consistently your main part of your identity, or has your identity changed over time?
I'd say over time it has changed a little bit. It's more formed towards more of this leadership role. Obviously, when I was starting out, when I was younger, I didn't have those skills that I have now. But throughout just all the things I've been put through, I think it's kind of molded me into this. That now, probably over the last 5, 6, 7 years, it's gotten me to the point where I am now. That leadership is, probably top of the chain for who I am.
Yeah, and what were some of those physical experiences that have shaped you to who you are today?
I think honestly, specifically, the state championship run for my senior year of football was probably the biggest thing that shaped me for who I am today. We started off the season, had high hopes. We internally had high hopes, but externally, I think we were ranked like 25th in the state. People didn't think we had even a shot to go to state or win as many games as we did. We just kept on winning. But it wasn't smooth sailing all the way through. We had some big losses, like to Cooper, our hometown rival. That was always a great, game. People, they just don't like each other.
Yeah, haven't you won like almost every year?
We think of him as little brother. It's like Louisville and Kentucky.
Yeah.
Kentucky's always going to be better than Louisville.
Yeah.
Riley's always better than Cooper. But we lost my senior year. That's the first time I ever lost to Cooper, which was pretty upsetting for my morale and the whole team's morale. And then 2 weeks later, we went and we lost at St. X. So that had us at 2 losses going into the playoffs. But after that tough, close loss to St. X, I think we just found something as a team. And we realized, we needed to play together, we needed to come together, and we all had the same goal. So when we saw St. X later in the playoffs, we were not content with losing again. They came to Union, and we went and put a running clock on them in the second quarter. The first time that has ever happened to that team since 1998. I think that's pretty special, and I think that just showed me that with strong leadership, it doesn't matter what the stats say, it doesn't matter what the odds say. If you can come together as a team and everyone performs to their best abilities, all believing in one thing, one matter, I think you can accomplish anything. I think that's what's going to push me even later in life into what I want to do with running businesses.
Yeah, so do you think that loss really shaped your season?
100%. I think without that loss, I don't think we would have made it to the state championship. I think that was that extra push, that extra motivation we needed to think we may not be the best, but we need to work harder to become the best. And that extra push just gave us that extra oomph to make it all the way.
Yeah, and I understand that you were playing with an injury. How did that affect things?
You've done the research.
How did you keep going?
So first week of playoffs, we're at practice. We're running through some lineman drills. It's my senior season, so the coaches are already a little worried about my injuries. I've had a ton of injuries throughout my career. Had a broken ankle, played with that. Constant ankle injuries and shoulder injuries. Well, first week of playoffs, we're doing a live hitting drill, and I go up, I hit someone, and I hear a pop. My arm fully goes numb. I'm on the ground, rolling around, can't feel it at all. Trainer comes over. They get the biggest O-line coach we have. He's about 6'5", 350 pounds. He holds on to me, and the trainer pops my shoulder back into place right there on the field. I still can barely feel it. It's sore as all get out. I'm walking over to the bench. Our head coach sees me. He comes running over, and he said, "Jack, you cannot sit out right now. You got today's practice, but you're playing tomorrow." And so from there, I knew it wasn't an option for me not to play. Afterwards, I found out it was a broken shoulder as well as a torn labrum. But I knew I had 4 weeks to get to the goal that I wanted to, and I knew my teammates were relying on me. I knew the whole city of Union was relying on me to play in that game. Nothing against my backups, but we just didn't have the depth that I felt comfortable in putting in someone else's hands my chances of winning a state championship. I put it into my hands. So I think the perseverance of playing through pain is an important thing that not everyone has that ability to do. I don't think it's just given. I think you can learn it, but I also think there's just a little bit of maybe craziness almost. That I may be hurting, but my desire to win is more important than my temporary pain.
Yeah, because you spent so much
I spent
time.
14 years of my life
Yeah.
trying to get to this one point. I'm not just going to quit now because I have a broken shoulder. You know, I was covered in tape. I was getting massages before the games. I mean, I numbed it up to the point where I couldn't feel it. I was just playing with motion.
Football was your life.
Football was my life, and I couldn't end on a season injury. It just wasn't going to happen. I mean, you could have told me I had a broken leg, I was going to play. It didn't matter.
So do you think that going to the state championship really helped you, like, go from playing football to now in college not playing football?
I think in certain ways it has. I've already gotten involved in the entrepreneurship club in a leadership position as treasurer. I think football really pushed me to know that even in football I was always younger, smaller, not as athletic, not as strong, but I was always able to excel with hard work. And I think knowing that helps me as I'm just a freshman. Not many freshmen run for positions in clubs, and I think me knowing that I might not be the smartest kid, I might not be the best candidate, but in my mind I think I am the best candidate, and I do want to see change. I think that helped me to get to where I needed to be. I also think that talking with people of my same age in football, going back to games, I mean, they still all talk about me. They look up to me. They're like my younger brothers. And I think that's really helped me get to where I am now with building more relationships and connections that I'll need later in business.
Yeah, so it seems like football really shaped who you are today. So do you have anyone like that influenced you to continue football and has kind of shaped you who you are today?
I'm going to give the credit to two people. First and foremost, my dad 100% shaped me for who I am today. He's the one who got me into sports early. He coached me. He was always the toughest on me. Anytime he was frustrated, he would take it out on me, which sometimes was frustrating. But it learned me that sometimes things are bigger than just face value, and you got to look at it as bigger than face value. I'm okay with taking the blunt things if that means the rest of the team can achieve. I think that's important in leadership, is knowing when to just suck it up, say it's okay, and just keep going. I think seeing my dad's hard work as well has also pushed me to want to exceed and excel like him. I want to have that same level of success, maybe even greater. I think, if I missed practice or something, he would come and talk to me. I know specifically there was a day I was sick, I was throwing up, and I had a fever. My dad came to me and he said, "You're not showing leadership by not showing up." And I said, "Dad, I got a fever and I'm puking. I can't show up." And he's like, "Who's telling you you can't show up?" And I was like, "The school." He's like, "Well, I'm saying you need to go show up." I show up. All my coaches are like, "Jack, you're sick. Why are you here?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm just here to support the team, watch practice, make sure everything's doing what they're doing." And I think little actions like that is what showed people like how much I cared, and me showing how much I care creates a certain energy that everyone else cares more too, and it's just good for the whole team. I think the second person would be my offensive line coach, Coach O. Kind of funny, he's like a 75-year-old dude, doesn't get around real well, doesn't always talk super clearly, but He's been coaching high school football his whole life. Has a lot of state championships with Moeller. I think 6 or 7. And I remember my sophomore year. I come to spring practice. I'm anxious. Freshman ball was different. I'm up at the big levels. I'm about 6 inches shorter than anyone who's starting. About 50 pounds lighter than anyone. And I just work my butt off. And he comes up to me and he's like, "Son, I have no reason that I should start you, but you are outworking every one of the starters, so I'm going to give you a shot." And so he gave me a shot, and from there, I just took off. I started every single game of sophomore, junior, and season, despite injuries, still always played. And when we got to my junior season, we started morning lifts. I personally hate waking up in the morning. I hate doing anything in the morning. But we had to get up at 4:45 in the morning, 5 o'clock, go in, lift weights before school. It'd be snowing, icing, 20 degrees out. No one wanted to do it. I straight up told him, I said, "I hate this. I don't like this. We shouldn't do this anymore." And he told me, "Jack, it's just what we do." He said, "I don't care if you don't like it. You're going to show up if you like it or not, because that's what we do." And I think that's ingrained in me. There's a lot of times in life when you're doing things that you don't want to do. You don't always see the reason or why we're doing it, but you're still going to do it. It's like showing up to your job every day. You're going to do it, you're going to do it, you're going to do it, and eventually you will get the outcome you want. We made it to a state championship. In my little brain there, I didn't want to wake up at 5 in the morning. I don't know why. Just complain, think of 1,000 things of why I shouldn't do it. But the one thing that kept me going was that we could get to a state championship. And I think I can take that into my future life, thinking like, maybe I don't want to do this job interview, maybe I don't want to do this, maybe I don't want to go to this connection event. But those little things are what add up to the big goal, which is becoming, successful.
Yeah, so you believe visualizing is a big part of getting from point A to point B?
That's interesting you say that. When I was younger, I couldn't put a word to it, like visualizing, like I can now. I've taken psychology classes. I've learned the importance of visualizing. But yes, 100%. It sounds kind of funny, but the reason I would push myself so hard when I was younger was because I always wanted to prove myself wrong. I would visualize myself beating other kids. I knew I wasn't always the fastest, but I'd always visualize myself winning. And I think it's just maybe it's delusional, but my own delusions, I think, have powered me to get to where I need to get. Like, I would visualize myself. It did every single week. I thought I was going to win the game. We may have not won. We may have had no shot. Every week, I was coming in saying, "Oh, yeah, we got this by 40. We got this by 50. A lot of the times, it worked out. And we were able to overcome it. And then now, sometimes I was completely delusional. But those delusions are what kept me going. Yeah, and I think it is important just to visualize the exact goal you want. Because if you can visualize yourself winning, you can get to that point.
I think the smartest people and the people that make the most money are so delusional about their interest that they make it happen. Like the iPhone. Steve Jobs was so delusional about creating this, and nobody believed in him until he made it possible,
Yeah.
And I think I heard this quote from a basketball player. It was like, if you don't think you're the greatest, then you already lost. If you don't think you're the best ever, then you've already lost. So if you could put in one sentence, what is one lesson you learned from your dad and your offense line coach?
In one sentence?
In one sentence, for each.
I'd say with my dad, give 100% every day. My dad, he never stops working. He's a workaholic. It's probably not a good thing all the time, but he just never stops working. It doesn't matter if he's sick, it doesn't matter if he's tired, it doesn't matter if he's injured. He's going to give it 110% every single day. He's going to give everyone 110% of his energy. And I think that that's just important in life. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter if you're picking up trash off the side of the road. I think you just give it 110% effort, and that just shows the kind of character you are. I think with Coach O, it's similar, but just showing up every day. Consistency. You hear famous YouTubers or whatever talk about how it's not always good in the beginning, You keep posting, keep posting, keep posting, keep posting. Eventually, you're gonna break through. I think that's with anything in life. You just keep going at it, keep going at it, keep going at it, keep going at it. Eventually, you're gonna break through. I mean, we talked about an entrepreneurship club. A lot of those guys had failing ideas, then they broke through. You just have to be consistent in whatever you're doing. You have to be passionate about it. You can't just go at it 50%. You're not going to succeed if you're going at it 50%.
Yeah, that's awesome. Great advice. How do you think our friendship has shaped our identities?
See, that's interesting. Because when we met, we were both going to Ignite. Freshman year of high school.
People.
Very, very different people. I was more in the sports crowd. I just knew a lot more people than you.
Yeah, I was more like the nerdy.
Yeah, you were quiet.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be fully honest. I thought it was kind of weird at first. I was like, "Why is this kid just following me around?" We met through a mutual friend, Bryson, and y'all played Trump together. So I remember I was like, "This nerdy band kid is just following me around for whatever reason. He's just following me around." But then there were some points where I was like, "Okay, we gotta do an assignment together. Okay, let's get it done." I was like, "Hold up, we actually are similar in a lot of things." And even though on the outside we look very different, on the inside we share a lot of the same characteristics. I think that has really helped us through our friendship. I think we push each other a lot because we both know.
Yeah, we're so competitive.
Exactly. We're very competitive. We always want to outdo each other, but at the same time, we can help each other grow and teach each other and push each other in ways I don't think every relationship that works out the same way.
Yeah.
I think we both benefit from it. And us, constantly competing, constantly pushing each other, I think is how we're going to continue to grow as people into where we want to do and become successful.
Yeah, I think our values were like, even though from the outside we were very different people, but on the inside I think we were super similar. If you could tell your younger self anything about identity, what would it be?
I can tell my younger self anything about identity.
Maybe like,
I would say stick to your own values and stay away from women. Not in like a bad way.
Yeah.
I just think it's important that you stick to your own belief system. And other people can try and change it, shift it, shape it. There's lots of distractions in the world. I think you have to stay true to yourself. And you can't let other things alter your perception. I think when you have your goal, you need to be able to stick to that goal.
Yeah, how do you feel about, there's one side of the spectrum saying create a business before you get a girl, and there's another where you grow with the girl. Which side are you on?
I think it depends on the relationship. If you have someone who's going to push you and has the same goals, it's wants you to succeed, I think that's really good and you can grow with them and keep going. But if they seem to be holding you back, I think you just gotta, I don't know, it's a sensitive subject, but there's different ways to go about it. I think it's just however your path is supposed to take you. But you have to surround yourself with people that are going to push you to where you want to go and share common goals. I really do believe that you are a makeup of the 3 to 5 closest people to you. And you gotta keep that circle what you want it to be. You can't let it, shift out of your morals and your goals.
Yeah, do you feel like you found your circle?
I think I'm starting to find my circle. I think I had it pretty strong early on in high school. I think during football season I had my circle of people. But after football season, I kind of lost a lot of things. I wasn't really going to school much because I finished all my schoolwork. I was just kind of floating out. Didn't have many friends at the time. I was just kind of...
You were working a lot.
I was working a lot, putting a lot of time into myself, but I didn't have anyone to rebound off, keep me in line. And I think as I've come to college, I'm starting to meet some more people, starting to rebuild up past friendships. I'd say my goal is by the end of this freshman year to have my circle set. And obviously things can change, people can come and go. But I want that circle to be set so that I can start building towards that grand goal that me and all of my circle kind of share.
Yeah, going deeper into that lonely chapter of you just working and like not having football anymore, how did that affect you?
Very negatively. I've been a dual sport athlete my entire life. Since I was walking, my parents had me in sports. And that always gave me structure, that always gave me friendships. And you know, it just always gave me something to do. I mean, like when you're going to morning workouts and after school, you're going to workouts and practice or games or whatever, you always have something to do and you always have a certain structure. You're told when to do things, what to do. Once that was gone, I had lost a lot of that structure and I kind of just felt like I was in limbo. I never had the freedom of going home after school and doing whatever I want. That led to some bad habits for me, like scrolling on TikTok, watching a lot of movies and TV shows, spending a lot more time socializing with people. While sometimes it can be a good thing, sometimes it can keep you away from the important things in your life. And I just think the whole goal of me coming back to college has been trying to get back into a structure, but I'm having to learn how to structure my own life because I've been put in a structure my entire life. Now that I'm free, I don't have my parents telling me what to do. I don't have coaches telling me what to do. I mean, shoot, our teachers don't even tell us what to do. I have to figure out what works for me and how I can keep that consistent throughout my whole life.
Yeah. Well, to end it off, do you think that your younger self will be proud where you are now?
Yes and no. I think so. I'd say in high school I accomplished every goal I wanted to accomplish, which it sounds big-headed to say, but I genuinely think that every single goal I wanted to accomplish in high school got complete. And that kind of put me in a place where then I just was like, think if you retire, like I felt like almost I was in retirement. Didn't have much going on, hit all the goals I wanted to in high school. And so I think my younger self would be proud that I was able to do all those goals and everything I could have possibly wanted to do in high school. I think I'd also be proud that I'd be at UK, which has always been my dream school. But I think my younger self would get frustrated that I've, come a little unfocused in some areas of my life. And I think my younger self would also be a little disappointed that I took away from the momentum I had going.
Yeah.
I was really, really going in a good uprising position, and then it kind of dropped down. And we're starting to go back up, but I'd be disappointed that I took that time off, which I thought at the time was just taking time to myself, but it really was just taking time away from myself, where I could have been working towards my goals and continuing on.
Do you think that was from being burnt out, or just like the transition from being all structured to now having like form your own life?
I think it's a mixture. I think the transition, talking to a lot of athletes who played sports their whole lives, had a similar story. Also, completing high school early, not everyone does that, but that also leaves a lot of free time. Becoming an adult, that changes everything.
Yeah.
And I just think, I don't know, just that loss of structure was really hard for me. And so that whole period of 8 months to a year was just me trying to figure out what are my goals now? What are my values now? What do I want to accomplish with my life? Because now it's just bigger than winning a state championship, getting a girlfriend, going to prom, all these smaller things. Now it's real.
Yeah.
I want to get a house. I want to have a successful business. Maybe take over my dad's business. I want to get my degrees. So I'm just trying to get the goals laid out, written down, because writing your goals is how you accomplish what you want to do. And so I think I'm starting to find that right path.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing your story with me.
Appreciate it.
It's great talking to you.
Thank you, Alexander Billiard.